Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be something completely new to me, which is film scoring. I've never done it before, but I've always been extremely interested in it, as my earliest musical inspirations have been film scores, for example, Star Wars, right? So for today's video, what I did is I created a thing called a vignette, a very short 50-second video with a couple different shots from the alleyway behind where I live. What I did is I compiled them together, and I wanted to try and make two different soundtracks for this little vignette, telling different stories. Now, I got this idea from Hainbach's video on doing the same thing, where he made a vignette and he did he did 5 different soundtracks for it, and each one told a very different story. Now, tonight, I don't have a lot of time, but I did want to try and get at least 2 in to see if I can tell 2 completely different stories. So based on the vignette that I made and the nature of all the things that are in the alley, I came up with 2 possible ideas for soundtracks. One is a kind of mysterious and spooky, it's fitting because today is Halloween, the day that I'm recording this, but a spooky, mysterious, almost murder mystery, supernatural borderline kind of vibe to it, right? And for that, I think I want to use instruments like the flute and perhaps the saxophone. We'll see how it goes. But basically, I want to record a creepy kind of flute melody, maybe something with some whole tone in it, and see how that goes. And maybe we'll use some dictaphone tape for that as well, too. The second one, I want to do something brighter and cheerier, and that's going to be more of a Fern Gully kind of vibe, because you'll see in the vignette, or as you've seen in the vignette, those shots have a lot of ivy in it, a lot of just kind of nature taking back over this urban setting. So I want to make it feel like there's no humans around. I want it to be like there are pixies and sprites and little forest creatures running around this retaken over kind of environment. So that's the goal for today. Let's see if we can do it. We'll hop right in, starting with the mysterious one first. So definitely like that as a starting melody. Let's go ahead and record that. Okay, so I like that as a little melody. Let's go ahead and try and play it a little bit better. So what we're going to try now, for the lower part, we have a nice flute melody already, but for a nice low part, I'm going to try flute into the dictaphone and then play it back at half speed to get the lower part. Originally, I wanted to do some flute and tenor saxophone, which I probably will still end up doing, but hey, this might be really cool. Let's give it a shot. Definitely spooky. Not sure how I feel about that. Let's go ahead and plug it in to the pedals and combine it together. Okay, so very happy about how this flute one came out. I wasn't expecting it to be as spooky as it is, and I was expecting it to feel more like a composition that makes you focus on the details of the video that's going on of this vignette. However, it felt like a more big picture, something larger is going on here. And then what I really liked about this too is the spooky music really kind of made you feel, or made me feel, something about the red tree at the end. It felt very ominous, very spooky, so I'm very ecstatic about how this came out. It feels like a horror film or some sort of supernatural phenomenon going on. So what I'm gonna try and do now is make something less daunting, make a separate a separate soundtrack for it that feels more like naturey and almost like a Fern Gully kind of vibe, where there are spirits, like happy spirits, like sprites living in this urban setting that has now been taken back over by nature. So let's try and do that. Some instruments I'm thinking about using are going to be the Kalimba, for sure, because it's very happy, very bright and positive presence. And I think I'm going to be doing some looping with the Microcosm, definitely probably some mosaic, something to pitch shift it up an octave, make some sparkly things. Just something totally different here. So let's see how it turns out. Okay, so that felt maybe more childish than fairy-like, so we might try again, but let's see how this go ahead and matches up with our vignettes. So I'm very excited with how these came out. I don't think I 100% nailed my target, but I feel like I about 90% nailed my target. With the Fern Gully one, I think I hit it closer to 100%. It felt very light, very happy, very just like sprites and spirits like running around, enjoying their new environment that has been reclaimed by nature. With the first one, I think I got less of murder mystery and a little more supernatural kind of vibe going on. I didn't end up recording saxophone. I just did the flute, and then I did flute with the dictaphone, recorded or played back at half speed. And the primary reason I didn't use saxophone was because it's starting to get a little late here, and I want to bust out the really loud instrument and disturb my neighbors. But nonetheless, I'm very happy with the results that I got, and I hope you all have enjoyed these two little vignettes with separate soundtracks. This is something I definitely want to keep doing because even though I don't intend to go out and find a film scoring job per se, I'm very, very interested in these compositions because they're something completely new for me and extremely fun. I feel like my palette is growing from doing this sort of thing. So I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.